Hey, James KJKU here. Today is Halloween, so that means in Michigan it is getting close to the end of fall. Kind of scary to think that winter is on the horizon. So one thing I like to do before it gets really cold is to clean out my POTA bag. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I actually thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of show you what's in the bag, what kit am I taking with me around places, and what's my average setup. Okay, came back inside to show you the POTA bag here. A little bit more space to spread out. So this is my main setup. It's a little bit hefty right now, honestly speaking. I think when I weighed it, it was about 19 to 18 pounds, so a little more heft than I would like. That's because the primary radio that I'm using is the FT891. I love it for its versatility and portability. However, it's not the lightest mobile radio. I'm primarily a sideband operator, so I like having the 100 watts available to me. So what bag am I using? This is the Gigaparts Explorer MP10, I believe is the name of it. This is no longer the version that they're manufacturing. I think now they're up to the MP3 or 30. I'll put links in the bio for what's still available, but I love this bag. I'm actually kind of a bag enthusiast, not afraid to admit it, but what do I like about this bag? A couple things. One, a lot of pockets for versatility, a lot of side pockets, a lot of loops, some Velcro for, adding those decorative flares, but also this part of it. So let me take the handheld off here on the bag. Is this part. This is what I like most about the POTA bag that I've chosen, is the fact that it will just open up flat. It's great for when you get to a picnic table or some spot in the park that you want to try to activate and get set up. You can just have access quickly to everything that you're looking for. And it also, again, it's a pretty good sized bag. It holds everything well. You'll see some loops on the inside for things like holding the mast, more additional pockets on the basically everywhere. Good overall bag. I enjoy it a lot. So I also have, let's just dig into the bag a little bit. This is ABR 174 coaxial cable. I like being able to put the coax cable inside the bag. Keeps it a little bit more stealth if I'm walking around versus slinging it on the outside. But this has the built-in chokes on it. I use BNC connectors. I like to be able to get in and out of parks pretty quickly. Nothing wrong with screwing on an SO239. I just like the snap and go. Good coax. It's 35 foot, lots of flexibility, nice high vis sheathing on it. Good overall coax for POTA. Next thing in the bag is the power. So we'll talk about the radio here in a second, but what do I power it with? This is the Bioenno 12 volt, 6 amp hour battery. I like it for a couple reasons, and why 6 amp hour particularly is for the airlines and airports. 6 amp hours with the new guidance of the TSA seems to be sort of under the acceptable limit without having to get additional approval from airlines. I like to play it safe, have not had any issues going through TSA, and I've flown with this a few times without any issues, so really enjoy it. The other thing is I don't really have battery anxiety. I take a mobile charger for this unit when I travel, so when I'm driving to parks on a mini Rover, or I get back to the hotel, I'll charge it up. So the radio. What radio am I using? I mentioned before the FT891. I also have the Explorer FT891 bag. It's really great just to, if I'm traveling and I'm going to take a carry-along or a travel bag that I'm going on an airplane with, another backpack, just grab it out, modular, throw it in there, gives a little extra padding. In this space, I have the 891 with some railings. These are just some eBay special aluminum railings, nothing too spectacular, but just provides a little extra bump coverage against the dials and the back end. Nice to have. The one thing I do enjoy for my mobile kit is I have this extra extension of RJ45. Obviously, I can't take the head off and on when I have the rails on. This gives me the flexibility to just plug in my hand mic without having to take the head on and off all the time or leaving the hand mic on. But 891, my go-to preferred radio. In fact, I have 2 of these. I love them that much. What is my go-to antenna? So in the bag, I guess let's back up real quick. One thing I really enjoy are these canvas bags from Yufon. They're just an Amazon special. They're not really that expensive. They have nice little hand loops. But I like to use these. You'll notice that you'll see a few different options here in terms of sizes. it keeps everything separated, so I can keep my antenna system separated from some of my miscellaneous items and neatly packed. If I'm gonna switch bags or go again to airplane mode and have a carry-on, I'm able just to drop and go and take what I need. You can label these with a Sharpie pretty easily. Great cheap bags, definitely something to look into. So in terms of antenna, what am I using for my primary antenna? I love the PAC-10 end-fed half-wave. It is my absolutely go-to favorite. If you are a beginner in parks on the air, this is really a great antenna to start with. Easy to deploy, lots of options. Sloper configuration obviously is the classic, vertical, inverted L, inverted V. Great antenna from a portability standpoint. This is the 40-meter extension wire. You can just see that from a kit perspective, this is just a good overall size. Wire wounders built into the antenna. I've used this over probably 100 times without any issues. Constant wiring, winding, unwinding. Just a great antenna to have. How am I getting that up in the air? So I am using this, the Explorer ZXP POTA 20, so a 20-meter mast. Really a nice mast. So it's gotten a little bit pricey in terms of recent months. I know DX Engineering makes sort of a competitor to it, but the thing I really like about these newer masts that you're seeing is the flexibility, the rigidity at the top end. Also coming with some built-in hooks as an added feature. Great mast to have. You can throw it up. I'll lean it in trees. I have a little spike that I'll show here in a minute that I'll stick into the ground and leave it up. The spike holds it well in basic wind load without any issues in terms of rocking. I don't deploy antennas into trees. I like to be respectful of parks. I don't want to cause any damage to trees or nature. I also don't want anyone to feel like, as an operator, I am hurting the trees. So I like to be respectful. I like to carry a mast with me. It's one extra thing in the kit, but no big deal. It gets me on the air and it works really well. The other thing that I have in my kit that goes is another canvas bag. This is just my miscellaneous stuff. So you'll see here I have my hand mic for my 891. I have my power cable for the 891. I have some cheap earbuds from the dollar store. I think these were $1.25, nothing special, not great audio. But if I'm in a noisy environment or I just want to not be noisy myself, I can put these in my ear, attach them to the 891 with the 3.5 millimeter jack on the outside, and I got headphones. This is my Write in Rain notebook. It's really nice to have an option with some pen and paper in case you need to log or take notes really quickly. Great notebook, easy to carry, and it fits right in the bag really well. This is the Nifty Accessories band plan. When I was starting in amateur radio, obviously I was curious on making sure I was in the correct portion of the band. I just keep this with me. I still reference it time to time. This is the 891 specific model for the DigiRig accessory kit. This allows me to do FT8, FT4, or any other digital mode with the 891 that I'd like to do. And then this is actually something I took from Josh, Ham Radio Crash Course Josh, tomato wire. Awesome to have. I have a few different lengths here bundled up. With the mast, if I want to just try to activate quickly and there's no really to spike it in or to lean it up against, you can obviously use maybe a trash can or existing sign in a park, again, respectively, don't cause any damage. I can wrap this around there, twist it, I'm secured. I can also use it to securing the mast to my tire rims, for example, if I'm in a rental car or I'm driving on a road. Just great to have. I was surprised at the amount of times and versatility that has come in handy. Even when it's windy, just strapping my DigiRig down to my rails of the 891, just nice to have. I do have some other miscellaneous things here, some zip ties, some rubber bands and other things, just again to help tie down things as needed. The antenna that I'm testing, it's new to me. I know it's a very popular mobile antenna, is the 17-foot whip from Chameleon. I have the blank adapter in here. Really nice. Chameleon is not cheap. But they do produce high quality, so you get what you pay for. These are the ground radials for that as well, 33 foot. I purchased those separately, but great overall whip, very durable. It's been deployed a few times now up and down, still has a lot of tension, no issues in the wind, good system, and of course the ground spike that comes with it. I bought the kit. Great durable ground spike. I'm not traveling on an airplane with this ground spike. To be fair, if I'm traveling on an airplane, I'm taking the end-fed halfway from PAC-10. But this, of course, is an option. I know there's tripods, there's clamps, there's other accessories to mount that into the air to get it up. So dealer's choice in terms of what you want to take with you on your POTA activation, but that's there. And then last but not least, inside the bag, if I can get it out here, is sort of my miscellaneous things kit. So to go with the Pactena or just any other general, I have some nylon rope here with spikes. This allows me, if I'm going to go for an inverted V configuration with my Pactena, I can kind of guy out both sides. I've used it to tie down the mast. I've used it for miscellaneous things. Again, just nice to have and gives you more configuration options in the field in a pretty small package. This is the Adventure Guy PP spike for the 20. Just to give him credit, I'll put the link in the description. Basically allows you to stake this in the ground and put your mast on the bottom here, and it just holds it up. Really convenient. You don't have to guide the 20-meter mast with this. Again, assuming normal wind load, just kind of works and holds it up well. And then these are my flags. So a couple flags. I got this POTA flag at Hamvention at the POTA table, so check them out. Love the flag. Great to carry. I will sport it around, especially if we're doing a club event or a park event somewhere, setting up for the day just to have it. And then last but not least, I am a proud member of the South Lyon Area Amateur Radio Club in Michigan. So for the socials, for the grams, if I'm doing that infamous photo in front of the park sign, I have my South Lyon flag with me. Great little piece of club pride to have. If it's a pretty cool thing that we special ordered for the club, and those members that wanted it could get one. But it's great, and you see it especially again at Hamvention. You see all your South Lyon flags flying, and it brings you a little extra pride, but also good for the socials and good for the photos because I remember where I'm at. I am going to now sort all this out. I'm going to parse my bag down to try to get a little bit lighter here before winter hits. I try to keep it below 15 pounds, which is still a hefty bag. I am definitely not a QRP or lightweight operator, but I will take this on a little bit of a hike around the park from time to time or get to some more scenic areas. I like setting up with a view where possible, but hope you enjoyed the walkthrough. Hope this helps you if you're trying to learn your own POTA kit. Tell me about your POTA kit and what you're carrying in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. You can see that I learned from others quite a bit in terms of what they're carrying, but for that, 73s.